How you doing? Scotty Bear back with another video. This video about 2008 inflation versus 2021 inflation. Yeah, that's right. I have a interesting comparison between these two periods. There's a couple things that stand out. I was living in Las Vegas at the time, and we were looking for a place, as it turns out, and this was, of course, was when the housing crash happened. So there were all of these abandoned homes. If you're aware of Las Vegas or live in Las Vegas, like blocks of Silverado Ranch were basically empty. Many of these outskirt, newer developments and stuff literally went bankrupt, including like places like Lake Las Vegas. And Vegas had another hard period. Actually, Vegas has had some hard periods. Even 9/11 hurt Vegas to the point where it seemed to be close to collapse. One of the interesting projects there is the Fountain Blue. The Fountain Blue was going up during this period, and they frankly couldn't complete it, which seemed crazy. But it just seemed overnight. People were going into foreclosures. Many of my friends stayed in their houses too long. Actually, you had to be careful about renting a house in, during that period, because homeowners were renting out the houses and pocketing the money versus paying their mortgage, feeling like their chances of being evicted would be, probably a very small percentage. So, things seem to be on the inflation tip, right? 2008. Now, it does not seem like it was as dramatic as it is right now. However, things were dramatic. I mean, I know a good amount of people that lost their house during the 2008 housing crisis, and now, and this was also during the housing crisis, where, of course, banks. And just like this inflationary period where, Blackrock is buying up all the houses on the blocks and stuff, maybe it was because they learned something from the last time the United States experienced inflation. Now, I have also some, outside experience in this, like Vietnam, which has experienced intense inflation. I took $300 out of the ATM, and I had 16 million dong, and that I was like, wow, that's really interesting. That is inflation. Now, with all the money that's pumped into the economy, trying to get it off life support, will be interesting what effect it has down the road. I just bought groceries, for example, and I was reliving that period. And, another very interesting thing that happened during this was CocaCola. So right before the inflationary boom, you would walk into, say, 7-Eleven or Circle K or whatnot, and get some incredible deal. Two Coca-Colas, $1.59. And during that period, they turned, these micro bottles. Now, we all know the, notable 2-liter bottle, right? And then, of course, the 1-liter bottle, which is, the little pony liter or whatever you want to call it. And then I believe you had pints, of Pepsi and Coke. And then all of a sudden you had this bottle that was smaller creeping in, and that stuck around. You can't get the same amount of soft drink that you used to get in that period. Now, yes, it's soft drink, but I still think it's pretty significant to inflation and what we may be experiencing. I also believe the 2008 period, it really feels like the 2008 period was the point where, the average Joe, the average stiff, could no longer really own a house. And, you know, they had literally McDonald's workers and, you know, people making $10, $12 an hour owning houses on those interest-only payments, you know, vehicle that they use to finance people. And then when, you know, they all came due at the same moment. With so much money pumped in the economy, you know, there is going to be some version of that, it feels like. I mean, prices are up. I look at the pricing, you know, graphs out there about how much different things have risen, and also the shortages and things. I mean, strangest things. Like it took me a month and a half to get this fish. Not a terribly exotic fish or anything. It was just a everyday fish, but there's, you know, shortage of chlorine. I mean, just the craziest things. I know a guy who's a trucker that kind of says that he feels like the trucker shortage and the worker shortage and stuff like that is made up. Wonder how much of that is true, and will higher wages actually creep in? Because it really feels like in moments like these, I mean, I would guess that everybody out there feels like they are making less. I'm just curious if you have a comment. I feel like I'm making more. I feel like I'm making less. Please comment below. I would be interested to hear your opinions. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful Saturday morning.